Coming today to make a short video just on a subject that keeps cropping up. I've made videos on this before. I call them clickbait videos, clickbait bushcraft, call it whatever you want, it's the same thing. I'll put a link up here. I did a video there the other year about exactly this subject. Oh, I've got a squirrel creeping up on me. Now the problem is, I read recently that somebody was out in the middle of nowhere. They were doing making a video, survival -20, middle of nowhere. They didn't have the right gear, they didn't have the right stuff with them, and unfortunately they died. -20 is not something to mess with. Hey squirrel, you're going to come and be in my video. Squirrel over there. But unfortunately -20 is not something you want to mess around with. It can be extremely lethal. You can get frostbite, you can lose fingers, toes, you name it, you can lose it. I do have gloves on me and hats and all that kind of stuff. That's why my pockets are all puffed up and stuff. I always have that stuff with me. But this jacket I'm wearing is no way good enough for those kind of conditions. However, I do find people going out making those kind of videos, and people follow them and they think that it's something that just anybody can do. It's not. You have to have the right gear, the right time, know what you're doing, know how to build a fire, and more importantly, know how to survive. And as I said in one of my other videos, there are many great courses out there. I live in Alberta in Canada. There are many great courses out there. Bruce Sawalski runs them, Karamat, Morska Hansky's training group, it was called Karamat. They're still going. Unfortunately, Morz is no longer with us. He was the godfather of all of this stuff, and he really did know his stuff. But make sure you have the right gear with you, make sure you know what you're doing with that gear, and then learn how to do these skills. Don't just go out in the middle of nowhere. The observant ones amongst you will notice that there's a lot of traffic noise at the moment. That's because there's a big road not too far over that way. I'm not out in the middle of nowhere. It's only -10, which for around here actually isn't too bad. It's only -10 today, centigrade. And as you can see, I don't really need gloves and all that kind of stuff because it's cold, but it's also dry cold. So know your conditions, know your gear, know what you need, and more importantly, know how to use it. If you're going out in those kind of conditions, go with a buddy. Take 2 or 3 of you with you. Make sure you've got all your survival gear. Make sure you've got your SOS in reach or whatever you have with you. If you've got cell phone service, great. If you haven't, well, you know, you can get all these satellite phones and all that kind of stuff. But don't just head off on your own out in the middle of nowhere in -20. As a first timer, I believe that the guy that died was quite young. It's one of those things that will creep up on you, and it can kill you fast. You can go down to hypothermia, literally 5 minutes you start shaking, then you'll stop shaking and you'll start feeling very, very warm. Hypothermia is a weird thing. It makes you actually feel very warm. Most people that go down with hypothermia are actually found either mostly naked or completely naked, because your body will tell you you're overheating. So you'll rip all your clothes off, and then of course you're as good as dead as soon as that happens. But the way I always get it over to people, imagine sitting in your deep freeze at home, in your fridge freezer. Imagine sitting in your deep freeze at home overnight and trying to survive. And where you're going out in the middle of nowhere is colder than that. So just remember that. Make sure you've got your gear, make sure you know how to build a fire, make sure you know how to have enough firewood. People build a stupid little fire and they think that's going to last them all night. That won't. It'll last you maybe an hour if you're lucky. The volume of wood you need for an overnight in -20 is huge. People seriously underestimate it. You need logs about as long as yourself, and a lot of them, and you want them about this round if you can get them. But more importantly, you need to know how to build a fire and how to maintain that fire. Because if you fall asleep and your fire goes out, you're still dead. Even though you had a really good fire, you're still dead. You've got to know how to survive. So my advice would be, go on one of these courses. I did many years ago. I was very fortunate. I actually got paid to go on the courses. That was part of my job. I used to do this stuff. I used to do search and rescue and all that kind of stuff. So it's very good. Get on these courses, get out there, learn the skills, enjoy it. Let's face it, it's great being out here. I mean, I'm not in the middle of nowhere. I'd rather be out in the middle of nowhere today, but I've got so much stuff to do in town, it's not funny. So oh, you know, the squirrels are chasing each other now. So I've seen a black squirrel, a grey squirrel, and over here I have a chipmunk. They're all going nuts. Yeah, they all think I've got food, but I haven't. Yeah, I won't feed them. Yeah, they can feed themselves, otherwise they die. Yeah. So learn the skills, learn what to do. Make sure you're not watching these ridiculous bushcraft clickbait video that I see girls out in this weather in bikinis, for Christ's sake. You know, that's just clickbait crap for guys. That's all it is. It will teach you nothing, and all it will teach you is, hey, there's some silly bint in a bikini trying to make videos so that she can make loads of money out of you watching them. Or you'll see people that go out and do -20 survival overnight, nothing but a sleeping bag and what have your videos. And again, half those people have no bloody clue what they're talking about. And if you think you can do that in -20 on your own with no training and the wrong gear, you end up dead. And unfortunately, that's what happened to this particular guy. So learn the skills, learn what you're doing. Don't follow those stupid channels where you see just people out there just trying to make videos just to get clicks and likes and subscribers and all that other crap that they want. No, learn how to do it. Cold will kill you, and it will kill you fast. Yeah, literally freezing to death is insanely painful. Not that I've ever frozen to death, but I have been. I did hypothermia training many years ago, and that is not very pleasant. I can tell you what. It takes very little time for you to cool down, but it takes hours and hours for you to warm back up again. Once your core temperature drops, you can't just put on a coat and hope you're going to feel better, because you don't. You can still die. It takes a very long time to warm you back up. It takes 15-20 minutes to cool you down, but it can take hours and hours and hours to get your core temperature back up. So learn the skills, get on a good course. There's many great courses out there, like I say, Bruce Sawalski, Karamat, and there's hundreds of other ones. Just get on a reputable course, go out there, learn the skills, and most importantly, enjoy doing it. Right, that's my little rant over for today. This is my video. I'm not heading out in the mountains today. I might go tomorrow. I have my traditional Christmas dinner fire coming up soon, so I will go out there for my Christmas dinner. I like to be out in the mountains for Christmas dinner, middle of nowhere, have a campfire, cook up some food, and I'll get one of those done Christmas Day probably. It's a good day to go because there's nobody else there. Yeah. So I'm just watching these squirrels over here. They're going nuts. Talk about distraction. Squirrels. Yeah. Right. Okay. I will call that it. It's just going to be a short video. Pay attention to what you're doing. Learn the skills and enjoy what you're doing. Thank you for watching.